and on an annual basis, which won't affect the budget of the incoming commissioner. So having said all that, I object to that idea, and hopefully the Commissioner's Court does not approve that motion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next one is Mr. Ruben Overial, the office of our Congresswoman Monica de la Cruz.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Good morning. My name is Ruben Ovieral. I'm the District Director for Congresswoman Monica de la Cruz. First of all, she sends well wishes. I'm her District Director, which means I travel the district up and down. I am in this area very often. I was just here, I think, earlier in the week for a very, very nice ribbon cutting. I also do office hours. I'll get back to that. The reason I'm here today is to first congratulate the Commissioners Court and Jim Wells County for receiving $1.2 million for the creation of a municipal utility district for Tecolote. It's going to provide first-time water service. It's also hopefully going to have elements to give it fire protection. We're very, very excited about it. I do want to congratulate the Commissioners Court for getting that money, not just getting that money, but actually doing what's necessary to get the money into their coffers. What I see up and down the district oftentimes is people have commentary and even complaints about, you know, who gets the money, to who gets the windfall of the grants that are offered. And to let you know, it was 25 million in aggregate up and down the district, which is a very good number for us down here in Texas 15. And the number one thing I always ask them is, did they apply? And I want to say 9.5 out of 10, when they complain to me, they did not apply. So I congratulate you for applying. I congratulate you for your award. And I hope that this money goes to good use, and I'm sure it will. The second thing I will mention is that I cover this area in a very, very personal way. I'm a caseworker. I am a district director, but I'm a caseworker as well, which means I work with IRS, I work with veterans, I work with the United States Postal Service, I work with immigration, I work with every agency under the federal government, which are about 30 of them. And this is by far the most used, the busiest remote location we have. And to give you an idea, we have Falfurrias, Georgia West, Three Rivers, Falfurrias, Brooks County, and Floresville. So this area is busy. In fact, right after this meeting, I have 2 more meetings with constituents who need our services. So we're very happy to be here. We remind you that our services are a phone call away. If you don't have my business card, I'll leave it. I think the judge has it. So if anybody's listening in the audience, also, if you need my services, we're reachable at 956-800-6069. My name is Ruben Ovieral. I'll be happy to be of service to anybody who needs our services. Thank you so much, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Mariano. Appreciate you. The next one is Lance Brown, Emergency Manager for Jim Wells County.
Yes, Lance Brown, Jim Wells County Emergency Management. I just want to go over one thing that we did on Wednesday. Judge Trevino and Sheriff Bueno, they had a declaration that was awarded to them on behalf of the work that Jim Wells County and Nueces County have been doing together. So we were, Judge and Sheriff were presented a little certificate in Commissioner's Court, so over there in Nueces County. So I wanted to give recognition for that and let it be known, you know, that the relationships that we have with our big brother is unbreakable at this point right now, and that's because of our judge and our sheriff. So I just wanted to say that and put that on the record. And the second thing I want to say is Commissioner Renee, we got the check for the fire department, so we can move forward with the process of building our thing. And on behalf of Orange Grove Fire Department and the city of Orange Grove, we thank you kindly.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Today we have actually 3 presentations. We put them on the beginning of our meeting today because we know that it's very important that you guys get back to what you need to be doing. So the first one is agenda item number 4. It's a presentation by the school district officials discussing the pending Alice ISD bond proposal, Prop A, for $38 million, which shall be decided by election on May 4th, 2024. So.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Judge and members of the commission for allowing Alice ISD the opportunity to share some facts about the bond that is actually already up for early voting. It started on Monday and will end on April 30th. And as mentioned,
You just state your name for the.
Oh, I'm
floor.
sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Sorry about that.
I'm Anicia Trevino, Superintendent of Schools for Alice ISD. And again, I'm humbled to be here. And so I can't see the presentation, I guess, but I guess I can right here. So again, thank you for the opportunity. The last day to vote will be on May the 4th.
Do you want to move the podium for her and see, or the TV screen? There you go.
I think I pretty much have it memorized, but we're good. You want to click it to the next one? Oh, there's a clicker here?
No, he's got it.
Okay. And so just facts, that's what I'm here to present. The stadium is 77 years old. It was built in 1947, and the first game was played October 3rd of 1947, and it was dedicated November 7th of that same year, obviously to our veterans that had recently fought in World War II. These are actually some samples of some articles that we found in our paper here in Alice, where individuals were writing about the excitement in the air as the new stadium was being constructed. The stadium back in 1947 cost $100,000. So just wanted to share that fact. We can go to the next slide. Back in 2020, administration Alice ISD had the foresight to go ask for an evaluation of the stadium, the conditions of the stadium, in order to make informed decisions thereafter. And these were the findings that were found, that there were many deficiencies in the stadium. And it reads, and goodness gracious, where, as described in the report, the widespread deficiencies found affect the structure in just about every aspect. The 75-year-old building, because this report is old, although I do want to impress upon the audience that we got the report October of 2023. So just 6-7 months ago, we received this report. And it's indicating that although the facility definitely could possibly have some replacements to be initiated, they do recommend that we perform, and I'm not wearing my glasses, to the extent of the life of the current structure, but considering the age of the stadium structure, more frequent repairs and excessive maintenance costs will be the norm, and thus the replacement be a more desirable option. And so, yes, we can make some changes to the facility, but it's going to be just a Band-Aid, and at the end, we will be having to invest throughout the next few years. And so we did conduct tours of the stadium. We conducted 9 tours, and actually we added an additional 4, and we did have 3 individuals yesterday at the tour. We've had over 226 individuals take a tour of the facility, and it was open for parents, staff, and community members. These are just samples. I want you to look at the ceiling where you do see gaps in the tiles, and this happens after every rain. After every rain, we need to replace the tiles at about a cost of $6,000. The rain is coming through the bleachers onto, and this is under the bleachers. This is the visitor side, but this is where our home students go to during halftime. These are just samples of the tours. So the stadium usage, sometimes people have the idea that it's only strictly for football, but it isn't. I'm sure everybody in the room has attended a football game or a soccer game or a graduation, Little Olympics, playoff games, definitely cheer and strutters, the baseball, softball, band competitions, and definitely track and field as well. So the stadium is not just for the students of Alice, it is used also by the community. These are just sample pictures of students utilizing the field for Little Olympics, obviously our band competitions, graduations, and definitely football, Friday Night Lights. And so this is a concept of what the stadium could look like as far as we needed to have a number anytime you go out for bond. And I'm sure you all know as well, you need to have a figure attached to it. And so looking at this stadium right now, the home side, we only sit 2,825 members, and on the visitor side as well. So the intent of the bond, if it does get approved, we would have the capacity to sit 4,200 in the home side. Currently, you all know, or I'm not sure if everyone in the audience knows, but 2 sections on the visitor side are Alice ISD fans, because all 2,825 seats are reserved. And if you all can picture the current stadium, where it says Coyotes, where we have the end zone, we have the band that sits there and the strutters, and on the opposite side, we have the student section. And so we are blocking anytime that we have track meets to be able to visualize the students running around the curves. Currently, and we can go to the next one, I think it gives more detail. Restrooms, currently we have 20 restrooms for both home and visitors, definitely not in compliance with the American with Disabilities Act. And so we'd like to increase that to 44. Parking spaces, like to increase that as well as to include the overflow to Sutherland's. Again, I mentioned the bleachers increasing to 4,200. Home concession stands, which are the points of sale. Right now we have 4, like to increase that to 10, but also recognizing that in the visitors, right now we have no points of sales for the visitors. They all have to come to the home side to buy or purchase any refreshments. And so we'd like to add 5 visitors points of sales. The field house, we currently, like I said, we're under the bleachers. The visitors, for whatever reason, are under the home, and our boys or our athletes are under the visitors. And so I'd like to create a field house and just have bleachers and the concession stands and restrooms under the bleachers. Soccer field, right now, the soccer field is not at the same capacity as far as measurements as other fields throughout the state. Our soccer field, or our field right now, including the soccer field, is very long. It's not as wide. And so our boys always say, and our girls, why do we feel so winded when we go play somewhere else? Well, because the field somewhere else is wider. And so as I mentioned earlier, the track and field with the blind spots on that. So if we can go back, sir, not forward, can we go back one again? And so the field house, it is just a concept at this point. It's not definite, but do we have the space to build it? And we have it there at the corner of Stadium and Houston. And so we can go back to another thing that the bond is requesting and is up for is a baseball and softball lightings. And you'll see the pictures of those in a minute. Right now in the visitors side, since we don't use those accommodations, there's only 1 male toilet and 1 urinal. And typically there's always a line of people waiting to use those restrooms, including our students, because the restrooms inside are 77 years old. These have been modernized a little bit, but those, there is no privacy in the one inside the field house or under the bleachers, because we don't have a field house. Again, just pictures of the tiles. We recently replaced them again, and with the rain this past weekend, they're already stained, and actually some equipment underneath that were over it has fallen even below the tiles, so we won't be able to adjust that. You'll see it in the wall, the mold, that although we can try to clean it and paint over it, it regrows. It's coming from the very top all the way to, like I said, underneath the bleachers. There's gaps in the cement, and so the rebar has begun to expand. We do have chunks of concrete that are falling, and even just this past weekend with a light rain, we had some concrete that fell. These are the steps going up Obviously, there is no railings for ADA accommodations, and obviously the picture doesn't speak as much as seeing it live, where you see the crack from the very bottom all the way to the top, where you see the 14, and you see a hole by that you're able to see through it. That is what's happening underneath as well. These are the restrooms or the showers. We do not have showers in the home side. We only have showers in the visitors, and the stain is or has accumulated for years. We do have to tell the visiting coaches that they need to allow the water to run anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes to allow the rust in the water to clear out before the boys can shower. The drainage is not good. It is all concrete, so it would cause breaking and it would cause having to redo the whole thing. So it does not drain as fast, and that's why you see it on the wall itself. This is the other side of that shower, so you do see that there are 6 shower heads, but you could see the damage in the shower. These are the restrooms in the visitors' locker room. And so in this picture, you only see one, but there are 2 toilets right next to each other with no partition in the middle. And on the wall, there is a small urinal. There is no door to this restroom. And you can see the top, where again, you see the one in pink, you can see the cracks of the stadium seats where people are sitting right above that, and the tile there with mold. These are pictures of our lighting at the baseball and softball complexes that we have. This is recently brought to our attention. The J boxes for these lights are 60 feet up. And so we always need to hire a company to come and just even switch it back on at your home. When your lights go out, you go to your garage to switch it back, or your laundry room. Here we have to pay somebody. Why it was done like that 20 years ago, I don't know. But that's a situation that we find ourselves in. The electrician that was hired this year is the one who brought this to our attention, who said that, and he had 20 plus years in the workforce outside the school system, and brought this to our attention that we were very fortunate that no one has gotten electrocuted because there's major damage. But because it is concrete, that is what has helped us. But the wires are so tight that they're like brittle that they can break. The cost of this would be about $450,000. Those are additional pictures of the lighting at the baseball and softball complexes. And so the total bond is for $38 million that the board approved for us to go for in February. The construction is about $28 million. Again, we need an estimate cost. Could we try to do it for less? That's the plan, but we have up to $28 million, a little over that. Construction contingencies, $2.8 million. The soft cost, architects, engineers, et cetera, $4.6 million. Inflation, $1.4 million. The baseball and softball lighting at $450,000, for an estimated total amount of $37,427,405. Our financial advisor shared that bonds are only sold by 5,000, and that's why the recommended cost would be to go out for $38 million. So we all know that a bond is a loan, and so just want to give information to the members of the audience on the bond. So again, it's like going out for a loan. You want to buy a house, and you put in your income for the spouses, and then they give you an amount that you qualify for. And so that really is what a bond is. The district has 2 buckets that we can put money in, which is a maintenance and operation bucket and the interest and sinking. Maybe the county functions in the same way. The maintenance and operation is to pay the teachers, the salaries, to pay the light bill, to pay the uniforms for transportation, gas, etc. So that's your maintenance and operation. The interest and sinking is only to pay off debt. And so we have enough in our interest and sinking to go out for up to even $45 million without having to raise the tax rate. And so that's where the district is at currently with requesting for the bond. For a total of 38 million. And just again, we cannot, many times people have the misconception, well, we want to put more in the maintenance and operation. I cannot move the INS money into that bucket. The state and federal government always has indicated you always need to have money in your interest in sinking because they know that buildings need to be remodeled, or you need new buildings, you need new stadiums. And if you wipe it out, then you need it. How are you going to pay for it? And so that is what we're letting people know. Am I saying that taxes won't go up? I can't say that. The only thing I can say is the tax rate that the district is asking for is not going up. Taxes may go up if the appraisal value of anyone's home increases, and that's based on the appraisal district making a value on a home or on a business. Now, if that goes up, it's going up regardless of a stadium or not. So I already indicated the tax rate, no change. And election day, as mentioned earlier by Judge Trevino, is on May 4th. We are voting for or against. The ballot will say, because by law it needs to say, that taxes are going up, because no one can measure if the appraisal of any home will be going up or down. So any bond in the state of Texas, by law, is required to indicate in the ballot that taxes are going up. But the tax rate that the district is putting out is not going up. The voting places are at Science, Shallard, Noonan school gyms, and here at Jim Wells County Courthouse. Other questions that we have been asked is, what about the high school? And what can we do for Alice High School? And we know Alice High School was built in 1970, not 1947, but 1970. And work has been done at Alice High School to include the 200 wing back in 1995, the Performing Arts Center, and in addition to the cafeteria, which we call the UBU Lounge. In the bond of 2019, they did replace the parking resurfacing of the athletic and student parking at a cost of $3.5 million, the tennis courts and the PA system and bell system at the high school, as well as recently the light, sound, screens, and projection at the Taylor Theater. And we have plans for Alice High School as well. So we want to go to the next slide, where you see that the plans are, we want to renovate the restrooms this summer at the high school, beautify the campus. We do want to hire a consultant to evaluate the current high school conditions. I know that right now, a lot of what's coming in the future in education is AI, right? That artificial intelligence. And they're already giving districts research on the careers that are being eliminated because of AI and those that are increasing because of AI. And as indicated by the researchers, they're saying they haven't created a robot to do plumbing. They haven't created a robot to drive cars yet. And so a lot of the CTE programs, the career and technical programs, are being higher in demand. And so possibly we won't be able to afford an entire high school, but I'd like to entertain and evaluate what a CTE program, would look like and prepare our kids for the next generation. And so looking at redesigning renovations and maybe increasing the hallways and what that would look like, and presenting to the board a good plan up to, for the next few years for Alice High School. So do y'all have any questions?
That's a lot of information. Thank you so much. It says that the construction is 28,000 and then
28 million?
28 million, and then you have some related costs there. Is that the final?
No,
Or we're going out for bids for?
for sure.
Okay.
Yes, no, that's just an estimated amount because we needed to present something. We needed a number. And so based on what other stadiums are going for right now and what the cost is, no, definitely nothing is designed itself. This is a projected landscape of what it would look like.
Okay, so if it, for some reason, I know costs are high for construction, materials, all that, ever since, the pandemic. But if, that money, not all that money is spent or utilized, where's the money gonna be going?
And so we don't have to go out for all of them. We don't have to sell the $38 million worth of bonds. We can, as needed, right, we can sell. So that's not completely set in stone. If we can build it for less, definitely. Now, say we have a little left over. This particular bond can only go to athletic facilities because that is how it's written. And so it cannot be used for anything else. But we don't have to sell all the bonds either.
Right, but so what is listed on this bond, you cannot add anything to it, right?
No,
Right, like if you don't.
only
spend-
athletic facilities.
Okay, so you could add something to it.
Yes, for athletic facilities.
Purposes only. And, for the sake of my knowledge and for our residents out there, our population out there, I lost my train of thought. Let me think about it just a second. It was an important question too. I lost my train of thought. No, so the taxes won't be raised.
Tax rate.
Yes, I got it now. So we know what we're getting with the 38 million, and possibly, hopefully, it won't cost that much. But we know what we're getting, and we know what's gonna happen. But what's gonna happen if we don't get it? If we don't get it, we've already listed all the deficiencies. We already listed everything that's wrong with our stadium. Do we have the money to fix it? Or to do what needs to be done to make it safe and secure again so we can have home games?
And so once, like, because people have asked, well, just do the bleachers. So once you start doing the bleachers, well, that includes the field house underneath or where the kids are dressing, right? And in addition to that, the experts have shared, we don't have the sustainability and the foundation to be putting anything else on it, like even the railings. And then once you start fixing it, now you have to be ADA compliance, period. And so, the location of it, the restrooms, we're actually in the same situation because it would include restrooms, the field house, the bleachers in itself. And so you start adding on and it's coming out to at the end being at the same price or higher because it's just going to be prolonged.
But where's the money coming from? If we know where the money's coming from when we get the
Bond, right.
Where's the money coming from if we don't get the bond?
We don't have enough in the fund balance. I mean, we have a good amount, 19 million, but not to make all the changes needed. We would need to go out again in November, and that's going to be more at a higher price. We went and visited several stadiums, Seguin being one of them. We had played at Seguin for one of the playoff games, and they shared their cost. And they said, we wanted to go out for May, but we missed the deadline, so we needed to wait for November. And from May to November, it increased by 1.2 million, the cost. And so if it doesn't go through, we know that there's a need. It's a matter of time. So it would just be putting it out on the ballot again at a higher price.
So we're pretty much in a pickle right now. We either get it done or
cut some of the expense off of your stadium. So you can make it smaller, you readjust, or so what happens, it seems to me like if it doesn't pass, y'all are gonna have to recreate something that's acceptable. That's what I would think, at a lower price. But, I'm not against or forward, I'm just saying that
Right.
if it doesn't pass, it seems to me like our constituents want you all to readjust to to a smaller stadium or just, just slice the pie a little bit, so that would be my guess, if it doesn't pass.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. We'll definitely evaluate that, hoping that,
Yeah, hopefully,
decisions, yeah.
hopefully you get what you want, I'm just saying, if it doesn't, you might have to.
No, definitely. And that's why we just put it out for the voters. It'll be up to the voters to make that
It's
decision.
always up to the taxpayers.
Yes, sir.
And I have one more question, and then I'll let anybody else. But the impact of the bond, we're gonna be, of course, in debt for 30 years, correct?
25.
25? Okay, so 25 years, what is the impact on our AISD by getting this bond approved and getting that on our rolls? And what is the impact for the next 25 years with other things that need to be done around our ISDs?
And so the schools, I guess the biggest issue that we face on a yearly basis is the air conditioning, right? And so we are in the process of having a 5-year plan to make sure that we're up to date with those. So we are able to look at the budget to make sure that they're working well. The schools are fairly all new with the exception of Alice High School. And that's why that plan is there for Alice High School. We are very confident that if student enrollment continues to improve as well as daily average attendance, then, we're already over with our average daily attendance compared to last year. Over $500,000 more than where we were last year because kids are coming to school. So as far as the budget and meeting the payments for the bond, we feel confident that we'll be able to pay for that.
And I guess, yeah, do you foresee setbacks in other things like deferred maintenance or anything else because of the bond?
No, sir.
I heard of, thank you so much for the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have any questions? No?
Thank
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys for coming.
Thank you. Is anybody else?
Oh, just her. Okay, thank you so much again. We appreciate you guys, and if you guys need to get back to, we understand completely. Thank you so much. Agenda item number 5, presentation by people assisting animal control regarding how they can help with stray dogs in rural areas and talk about low-cost vaccination clinics, spaying, neutering, surgeries, and possible grant for a building to hold stray dogs. Robert. Cheryl. Oh, Cheryl's up there. Okay.
Okay.
Michelle,
Hi,
hear
can you
us?
hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It does say unstable network connection on your end. So just so you know. Hi,
Unfortunately, we're having some internet connection issues here at the courthouse. But we
Okay.
can hear you, and can you please state your name for the court?
Yes, my name is Cheryl Martinez. I am the president of PAC, People Assisting Animal Control. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go through a couple of things with you and hopefully not take up too much of your time. I'm thankful that you allow me to be on this agenda item. Okay, so they need to enable me to share my screen. It says host does not allow screen sharing. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I went through your numbers to look at, that was one place that I know y'all been having a lot of problems. So in doing your data for your areas, I'm figuring you have about around close to 1,500 dogs in Fremont and about 1,100 cats. So Fremont, Texas, surprisingly, was actually more poverty level than Ben Bolt. We do go by data and we go by all of these statistics to kind of help determine what's needed for every area. Over 50% are unemployed in Fremont, Texas, and about 38%. I think the average salary is about 48,000 in Fremont, but over 70,000 in Ben Bolt. So we need about 2,078 spay neuters for Fremont and close to 1,500 for Ben Bolt total to get to where you have what's called zero growth, where you don't have the problems that you're having right now. One way to solve some of your problems, of course, is spay and neuter. I also know that as far as registration, you could do a microchip. We have done that in Corpus Christi, and it has helped a lot because then you know who that animal belongs to. Citations, loose dogs. My understanding, you guys have a lot of animals that are tied up. So that is against state law. Outdoor cats, they need to be spayed or neutered. You can actually make that an ordinance. We do have that here in Corpus Christi. And involving the community. I went to Refugio County and we had a town hall meeting. And as you know, a lot of animal people, they're going to complain about problems in the area, but we got a lot of them to help. Refugio is now actually bringing animals here and they transport every week and they're making a pretty big impact there. Breeder permit is another option. And then of course, no roadside sales of animals. You have a lot of people selling pets in your area. And by stopping that, you would also be able to start to not give people the option, and that would help. So I'm also with Texas Humane Legislation Network. We do, yes.
Ms. Cheryl?
Yeah.
Can you hold on
Yes.
just,
Sure.
Who's flipping through the, oh, okay, so, okay, because are you flipping through the, through the?
I am.
Station?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's not flipping here.
It's not flipping there.
No.
I think it's your internet.
Yes, okay, I just wanted to make sure, go ahead.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll go through it and then I'll stop sharing and I'll go through it with you again. Okay. Hang on.
We can see it, it's just not on the right,
You're not putting it on the main
All
screen.
right.
right, yes, there you go,
There you
there you go.
So you can see it?
Now you
Yes,
can.
yes, now we can.
I'm sorry?
Now we can see it, yes, we
You
can
broke
follow
off.
you as long as you click on the image on the side.
Okay, then I'm going to do it this way. Okay. So like I said, the registration. So Texas Humane Legislation Network, we do all the animal laws in Texas. We are a group that helps pass laws in Texas. Safe Outdoor Act is one that we did pass. You do have a lot of animals that are tied up in your area. And, making people be in compliance with state law, it's important because those animals are at risk, put your community at risk because of bite cases. It is proven that dogs that are tied up are more likely to bite. So I don't know what y'all do with your animals right now. I don't know where they go. I don't know if you have a contract, how many you pick up. I don't know if you contract with Alice, or I don't even know if you have animal control officers, but those are some questions that I had. And how do you handle your cats? And as far as budgeting, I know that you don't have a facility, and I think that you would need one, but it's also going to depend on what it is that you need. Like, what are your numbers, and who's picking up the animals, and how all that is working. We don't give any funding at all for facilities, but I can help you decide what it is that you need and be very frugal so that you don't have to overspend. But I just don't know what your needs so far. The grant that we have is with Coastal Bend Community Foundation. They do have a representative that is over that represents Jim Wells County, so they will be watching this later. They gave us 200. First, they started with 150,000. This past year, they've given us $234,000, and we do use that for 7 counties. Last year, we did over 2,000 spays and neuters for the 7 counties. Kingsville, which was surprisingly, is actually Clayborough County, is as far as number 1 with having their numbers. They no longer euthanize cats there. They actually bring them here and fix them here also. Their animal control does. But we work with all the counties and we do help them and give them ideas. And we're getting a lot of the people in the community to really help out also. We will be having a meeting because the funds will be depleted probably within the next, we use about $35,000 a month for this county grant for the 7 counties. And what we do is when we start over again, which is look like it's going to be sooner than what I thought, probably in June, early July, then that's when somebody from your area would need to be represent. And then we go over how the grant works and everything that we do. Give you ideas, like putting information, your utility bills, posting. We even do the flyers for you. We do start with the smaller area and then we increase areas over time. It's working with Taft, Portland, Gregory, all of the small towns is how we're working. We did over 2,000 last year. We're doing a lot more this year. I do have 6 veterinarians that work for me. And so far we've done 1,066 to date. So we are hoping that that's going to, we're going to see a big change on that also. Okay. So I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oh, shit. Okay. See me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what do y'all do for animals right now?
We're tied in with the city of Alice, and when we have our own animal control people here,
Okay. So you contract with Alice?
yes. But they're just limited. They're already
Right.
overloaded. They don't have the space for all these animals. And it's just,
And who picks up your animals?
we have a county animal control. We actually have 2.
2 of them. Yeah.
And at the moment, we only have.
Okay. So you have positions for 2 animal control officers? Okay.
And y'all are located in Corpus Christi?
Yes, we're in Corpus Christi, and we have not had any problem with all 7 counties coming in. We do have, I was really surprised that even the ones in Kingsville come in, and they actually do the most. And I think Taft is the second one right now, City of Taft.
When you say they come in, they deliver animals to you?
So we do a couple of things. Refugio County is bringing animals in for the community because they had a lot of transportation issues with their residents. But all of these other areas, animal control, Kingsville, they bring in cats, just cats that go to their shelter. Instead of having to kill them, fix them, let them go. Okay, that's basically the way you should be doing it. But everybody else, the people bring in their own animals. You guys just help get the word out. We give you the flyers, you copy them. You also help us with the areas. I don't know your town, but I'm sure every one of you can tell me, you can give me 3 streets in Fremont that there's dogs everywhere, I'm sure. And that's how we do it. We depend on the counties to give us the information. You know, it's a collaboration. We can't do all the work, and people think we have a lot of staff. We don't. I have a staff of about 12 people, and we do over 800 surgeries a month. So we are very, very busy, but we always have, we do surgeries 5, sometimes 6 days a week. We did surgeries on Easter Sunday. So we're trying to have room for the community. Most of our surgeries, over 90%, are free for people in need. So you would choose the areas. We would work with you on that. And then we would give you the flyers, and you would be the ones that would get it out to your community.
Okay.
And as far as
Cheryl?
your, yes,
I'm Huicho Gonzalez. I'm the one that made contact with you to come make this presentation here, and thank you so
Yes.
much for coming in. Uh,
sure.
I'm the one that has probably the worst problem in between all of us here in Bembolt and Fremont. I know Alice has a huge problem. I've communicated with the people here in the city of Alice, and it's just out of control. And I think as a county, we failed to do anything about these dog issues that we have around the county. And I think it's time that we hold people accountable for it and do something about it. There's a statute, a policy through the state that says that your dog has to be in your property. And I don't think none of us follow that rule. But we cannot enforce these rules because we don't have a place to pick up a dog and take it to, because Alice is already overloaded. So I try to lean over to either tag the dog, chip the dog, and hold these people accountable for it. If your dog is out there, it's causing an issue. I get bombarded weekly with Facebook articles sent to me saying, hey, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about this? And we haven't done anything. And I think it's time that we move forward and change our attitude about what's going on, because we ignored it long enough, and something has to change. And I firmly believe that people have to be accountable for their actions, not the dog. The dog doesn't know any better. And
Absolutely.
and so there's options, and I wanted, you brought a lot of good options here, and I firmly believe that we got to address it, we got to look into it, and I'm willing to sit down and bring these programs in here and make them available for the people, and of course, educating the people and letting them know this is what you got to do, and this is what we offer to be able to help you guys, but it takes everybody to get involved. So,
Yeah.
I asked a question earlier, and I'm not sure I understood the answer. Like in Kingsville, they take the cats, you spade and neuter them, and then release them back? Or do you keep the animal?
No, we don't keep any animals. We're not a shelter at all. No, no.
Okay,
They
I need to know.
animal control stopped killing cats, and they have cat problems. So now they get them, they trap them, they bring them here, we fix them, and they take them back. As far as their community, the people bring in their own animals. The only one that's transporting right now is Refugio County. So Refugio County, I did have a town hall meeting there. It was, it was successful. We did have some people that were very angry with the county, but again, my thing is, you can complain all you want, but if you want to help, we're trying to give solutions here. So like I told county judge, hold them, tell them, you want to complain, well, what can you do to help? You can't do it on your own. You're going to also need to engage your community on it. And if people know that you're going to do this, believe me, they're going to want to help. They don't want animals to die, and they're tired of it. Just like y'all just said, you're getting calls all the time. And I've gone through and I've been researching and looking. You've got huge animal issues in your area. And I don't mind sitting down with you guys and, setting up a meeting and all that, but, and we can always figure that out. I'm fine with that. Like in person, but we need to have to start somewhere. And I think these are some options for you. I will also I'll send Weechel my little presentation, and you can think about it. I can give you ideas, costs, things like that, and we can help you with those things, so that we can start to make some differences in your area. But he's right. You do need to have some laws, ordinances, but you also have to help the people understand why. And that's that. I think once you do that, you'll start to get more people engaged.
Anybody have any more questions for Cheryl?
Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have, we don't have any more questions, and I wouldn't mind sitting in a meeting with you and Huicho, and we can discuss ways that other cities and counties are handling their problem, and see if we can put a dent in our problem.
Sure.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Yes. Okay. Thank y'all. And I'll send you the presentation, Weechel, so you can have it.
Yes. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you. Just let me know.
Agenda item number 6. Presentation by Commissioner Huicho Gonzalez, given notice to residents regarding implementation of speed bumps for traffic control on County Road 448 and Precinct 4.
Judge, made contact with Mr. Guerra here, and we looked, policy, we had to go through TxDOT to get approved, and TxDOT sent us back information saying that we could go ahead and do it. And we had some citizens on County Road 448, just south of Bembolt, that wanted, they had a lot of issues with people speeding through there. Of course, it's pretty much everywhere, but it's a little area where there's a lot of residents and small road. People are speeding through there, so they requested some speed bumps. We looked into it, and like I said, they had to go approval through TxDOT, and they said it was okay. So we got all the information. We're set to go ahead and install them. So we're gonna just want to make a presentation there to let the people know that it was gone to the Commissioner's Court.
We don't need a resolution or anything for that?
I don't believe so.
It's not a, under chapter 545, which will be relevant to another item down the line on the agenda. If you're changing the speed limit, we do need official action by the Commissioner's Court. This isn't a speed limit, it's a traffic control device, so the Commissioner has to give notice to the public, hey, we're gonna put some speed bumps out here so that people don't find out the hard way that they've been installed, so maybe a sign temporarily or something to give notice, but this is the first step. But there is no need, to answer your question, there's no need for a resolution on this type of improvement.
Well, good. Any other, is there any other written notice or anything that this presentation?
And we've already discussed putting some signs with adequate time for the.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already ordered the signs. We just, as soon as they come in, we'll go ahead and start installing, and it's gonna say speed bumps ahead with a marker.
So you have to go through TxDOT first, because I
You-
thought we couldn't do it.
No, they, for whatever reason, they had to go to TxDOT, and we send the emails to them, and they said it was fine to send me all the information, how to install it, and how to go about it, and said
As
it was
long as
okay.
it's a county
You
road.
can't do it on their roads,
Right.
on the TxDOT road, but on the county roads, you can, but I would recommend that we check with them too, if you have anything in mind.
Have several people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
a lot.
it's, I don't recommend them. I mean, I wouldn't want one in my area, but these people, it's a smaller road, it's not a lot of traffic, but there is, wherever it goes through there, it has a bad habit of speeding, so they requested this, and I said, well, let me look into it, and
I thought we couldn't do it because of, well, because of ambulances and
no, wait,
stuff
you
like
see,
that.
you have a speed bump and you have a speed hump. The speed hump is just, it'll allow you to go through it with emergency vehicle if you have to. The speed bump really stops you. It's a higher one. So it's two differences. So,
Is it the rubber one that you nail down, or you're gonna make them?
well, of course not, Margie, it's too expensive. No, it'll be pavement.
Asphalt?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm afraid they might take those.
Yeah.
Somebody might remove them, so it'll be permanent.
Good, good. We need to make sure our residents are safe and secure, and I'm sure after seeing this, I'm sure commissioners are gonna get more calls. But it's, I know it's tough. It's tough for the commissioners and it's tough for us because, we can't say that one is more important than the other, but.
It's a real hard issue, Judge, because like, for instance, we're doing work at 465 and we're repaving, and these people are going 100 miles an hour through there. They don't respect the workers or anything. And then we fix the road and people call us and say, hey, man, put speed bumps. I just fixed your speed bumps. They were potholes. You know, they were driving slower. So now I fixed them. Now you want me to put speed bumps, you know,
They
so
drive faster.
it's hard to be able to please everybody, but I tell them, all I can do is you call sheriff's department and have somebody, you know,
That's a
control
good
the
point.
area.
That's a good point. Yes, sir.
It's hard.
Okay, any other questions or any other? Okay, we'll go on to agenda item number 7, presentation by April Holdren from Enbridge on construction and implementation of a solar farm project in County Road 308 in Precinct 2.
Thank you guys for having us. Feel very honored to be able to be here and just give an overview of our company and also the project. For the record, my name is April Holdren. I'm a stakeholder engagement manager for Enbridge Energy. And I do have a presentation. Are you pulling it up? Okay. And I do have a colleague here, Kevin Mosher, and he'll be speaking a little bit on this towards the end. So go ahead, the next slide. So this is just a general map to give you an idea of the assets that Enbridge has throughout North America. We have roughly just shy of 18,000 miles of natural gas pipeline and liquids pipelines. And then in addition to that, we have several wind and solar farms, and I'll get into that a little bit more. Next slide. So our company values, and I thought this was important to be able to bring up to you guys and talk with you about it because we're doing work in your county. And I think you need to understand who we are as a company and the employees that make it up. We have our core values are safety, integrity, respect, inclusion, and high performance. And they are taken very seriously. You know, I have been with the company now for 8 years, and I know a lot of people always say this, but I do work with some absolutely amazing colleagues, and we have zero tolerance for not having integrity, for doing work that is not done with respect. It's just not how we operate. So know that when we come into your community and we're constructing, as we are right now, and we'll talk about that in a bit, it's done with respect and it's done with integrity, and that continues on through operations. Next slide, please. So just to give you a full picture of our company, we have 4 business units. Our liquids pipelines is, we have, as you can see the miles of pipe here, and I'm not gonna read off what you can read yourselves, but what's important here that I'd like folks to understand is we do transport about 30% of the crude oil that's produced in North America as a whole. Our natural gas pipelines business unit, we transport roughly 20% of the natural gas consumed just in the United States alone. Our natural gas utilities, this is another part where it's just getting the natural gas to your homes and businesses. And we have a lot of that is primarily in Canada and also eastern part of the United States, but we've just purchased some assets that have spread that out into the west as well. And then also a renewable power business unit. We have 44 renewable facilities currently, and that's enough to power over 1.1 million homes in general. So lots going on with our renewable power business, which is what brings us here to Jim Wells County. Next slide, please. So Let's talk about the Orange Grove Solar Project. I know that Commissioner Garcia and Judge, you've been able to go and see the actual location. It's on 920 acres of privately held land. When it's operating, it'll be operating at 130 megawatts. And we do have, I mentioned it's privately owned land, we do have landowner consent, and we have an easement for 35 years. And we have begun construction, and that began, some of those later activities began at the beginning of April, and all permits to begin that construction have been obtained. And you can just see on this slide, it's the outline of the farm itself or the facility. And to orient yourselves, you can see County Road 308 there. Next slide, please. So I thought that we'd just bring up some of the frequently asked questions or concerns that we hear and that we have heard already. Oh, thank you. So noise, we get asked about noise, and honestly, the noise as a nuisance is going to be more observed during construction, those temporary impacts with, trucks bringing in supplies and also driving piles in. But again, those are temporary impacts. Once the facility is in operation, there's a mild humming sound that can be heard. It's anywhere, if I remember correctly, 40 to 60 decibels, which is very, very low. And there are mitigations that will be brought in for that. We've been asked about the longevity and the commitment to the project. Like I mentioned, we have a 35-year lease with the landowners. We are putting forward a lot of capital for this project. We're in it for the long haul. One thing I didn't mention at the beginning, just talking about Enbridge, we've been around for over 75 years. We're not going anywhere. We're looking to grow our business and be seen as a first-rate energy provider. We are committed to the operations and maintenance of this facility. Community investment and taxes to the county. Obviously, there will be taxes that are paid to the county. I don't have those exact numbers at this point. I know there's still, some of that is still being worked out, but there will be taxes that are paid. And I think it's fair to say that's a benefit to the county as a whole. And then community investments, that's something that we are very committed to doing at Enbridge. We have a community investment program where we provide grants for like safe communities and vibrant communities and sustainability. So just some examples of givings that I've been involved in, giving to higher education institutions, helping a fire department get equipment that they need, or the police departments get equipment. And that's a point that I want to bring up too with respect to emergency response and our Safe Community Grants program. It is important to us that we have that communication throughout the life of our asset, because you never know when something would happen, and it's important to us. And we recognize that you need the supplies to be able to respond to any type of incident, and not just something with our facility, but throughout your community too. We really do look to be good neighbors. And so the economic impacts, obviously I touched on taxes, but also, during construction, especially when it really ramps up, obviously we're going to be seeing some increase in population here on a temporary basis. And so hotels and restaurants and other businesses that supply services certainly will see an increase there. So next slide. So just general next steps, obviously continuing construction. That's one thing I did fail to point out. Construction did start, light construction activities, and those will continue through the end of the year. And so we do hope to have this, the plan is to have the facility in operation by mid-2025. So next steps, continuing the construction, but also keeping all of you and the sheriff's department, the fire department, keeping all of you informed of what's happening with construction, how it's going, when we hit any particular milestones. Engagement with the local community. Just yesterday, I was able to sit down with 5 folks from Orange Grove who are both adjacent landowners, and then some were just residents who don't have land adjacent, and able just to sit down and have a conversation with them and field some of their concerns. And, just along those lines, the adjacent landowners, making sure that we're including them as well. So, oops. I have one more slide that I am going to let my colleague Kevin speak to. It's a more of a technical slide that helps you understand how the solar is absorbed into the panels and gets its way over to the grid. So, next slide, please. And I'll step aside for Kevin.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Mosier. I'm the project manager for the construction phase of the Orange Grove Solar Facility. I'm just going to give you a very high overview of how the facility will operate at the most basic level. We're going to have 321,000 individual solar modules installed, and these are bifacial modules, so they not only absorb the sun's energy from overhead, but the reflection from the ground as well. Those modules will feed into 33 individual inverters. They convert the power from DC to 35,000 volts AC. Those feed back into the substation, cumulatively into 5 individual breakers. Those 5 breakers at 35,000 volts feed our high side transformer. That transformer takes it from 35,000 to 135,000 volts, which we tie into the grid and supply power back. Again, it's super high level. I'm here strictly to answer any questions you may have about the functionality of the facility, the construction of the facility, and if you have any, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions, and we appreciate you guys, Commissioner Garcia and I, myself and Lance Brown, our emergency manager. We went out there for the initial kickoff meeting, and it was good. I didn't get to get the tour, but they did. But we appreciate the hospitality over there. There's a lot of good that's going to come out. I have some tough questions. I think they're tough questions, but I know you have a 30-year lease. Is there an out on the lease? Like a 30-day out, 60-day out, 90-day out, or anything like that?
That is an excellent question that I don't have the answer to, but I can get that for you because I have not read the lease myself, but I will get that answer for you.
And the reason I ask is, you guys saw what's right next door to you guys, the little
Yes,
solar thing
yes,
there,
sir.
and it's been abandoned, and it's an eyesore
Yes.
for constituents down there. And it's incumbent of us to protect everybody around us, and it looks great. It's gonna look great, and I'm sure y'all are gonna do great. We just need to make sure that at the end, if there's any issues, that what happens if you all do leave for some reason or another, with the solar panels and with everything else. I know that's more incumbent of the leaser and the leasee, but we need to know those things too, because I'm not sure any of that's regulated
Right.
at this point.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I have not read the easement or the lease rather, but I will get that information to you. And at the end of the 35-year lease, if it's not renewed for additional time, we would decommission the project. And whenever we decommission a facility or one of our assets, we make sure that it's no longer functioning, but that where it's been sitting, that land is restored back to or as close to its original state.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. And again, we appreciate you guys. Y'all gonna have some financial impact for Jim Wells County, and we're all about that, so.
It's been a long 3 years when you all started the project, so I'm glad we're in the construction part of it.
Yeah, it's exciting to see, for sure. And we'll definitely, as the construction moves on, like we said, we'll bring you out again.
Line item on speed limits also, so we're gonna probably address that problem also.
Thank you very
I saw some
much.
of your signs out there that be prepared to stop.
Yes,
But if they're going 60 miles an hour, they're not gonna be prepared.
right.
We're gonna address that problem also.
We're very grateful for you guys addressing that problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody, any questions, anybody? No? No?
That's the one I was gonna ask. What happens afterwards? That's a concern.
All righty, thank y'all so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you guys, and
Thank you, ma'am.
y'all have our numbers if you need
Yes, we do.
something.
All right.
We're here. Yes, let's go ahead and go there, and then after that, I'm gonna take care of you guys. I know you're first responders, you probably need to get out of here, so we'll take care of you guys, and then we'll go from there. So this is agenda item number 13. Discuss, consider, and take action to designate the beginning and ending locations of temporary reduced speed limits during the construction phase of the solar farm project off of County Road 308. You want to explain that? You want me to explain that?
You wanna give us I think it's, we can, I think 30 miles an hour is the lowest that we can go, Michael? Okay. So I'm proposing to go to 30 miles an hour from intersection 308 and 359. It's about a mile and a half to the entrance of the construction site, and then go past it to where the disposal wells are at. That's about a mile and a half, so it'll be about a total of 3 miles of temporary 30-mile-an-hour zone, speed zones. That would give you plenty of time to, to address, be prepared to stop signs that you all have out there. And that's my recommendation.
And that's gonna be from the intersection of 308, 3 miles down the road?
Yeah,
30 miles.
yeah, but the construction site is about
Right, yes.
half of it.
Okay.
We'll be beginning at the intersection of State 259 and Federal 308 and extending 3 miles west and northwest.
I think that's even more than we discussed so I'm sure you guys are okay with that.
Y'all are anticipating a construction period of 12 to 15 months?
I think construction of about 9 months.
So you're aware that you have a neighbor out there that also attracts a lot of heavy traffic.
We've witnessed,
So we're just trying to anticipate that and for safety reasons, but
No, I think this both, so.
abundance of deliveries. It takes a lot of semi to deliver 321,000 modules. A lot of piles, torque tubes, converters, all the nuts and bolts that go into play.
And I think we spoke that the area, as y'all turn into the lease, everything, there's enough space, everything is okay with the big trucks y'all are bringing in and the size of the modules. Yeah, okay.
And on Saturday, they just had 122 18-wheeler loads of Kaluki come in there, so logistic-wise, you're getting a bunch of water, and logistic-wise, that's a lot of 18-wheelers.
Okay. All right. So, that being said, I second Mr. Garcia's motion, to set a 30 mile per hour from the intersection of 359 to 308 on 3 miles down into 308 for the safety and security of our constituents down in that area. So I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? Yeah, I think it was a motion. I think he made a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, he made a motion. Yeah. I heard it, yeah. Okay, so I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all very much. From there, I'm going to go to number 12, because we do have some first responders that probably need to get back. Agenda item number 12. Discuss, for number 10. We'll do that one next. Discuss, consider, and take action on request from Jim Wells County ESD number 2 for the appointment and reappointment of 5 members of its Board of Commissioners.
Judge, Commissioners, as you're aware, there's ESD number 2 in Jim Wells County, which just covers the Bembolt area. And what we're asking today is, I sent you a letter with the names of the individuals that we've already contacted and made sure that they were committed to serving on the board, and all of them have agreed. These are just a suggestion. The Commissioners Court has the authority to issue the appointments, so it's at your disposal. You do take those names, or if you have somebody else you want to put, you're more than welcome to put. They do have to be qualified voters that live in the district or are have taxable property in the district. So, like I said, we've pre-screened them. Those 5 we do know qualify and have agreed to attend the meetings and help keep our ESD moving.
Okay, and for the court's information, those individuals are Wendy Greer, George Dominguez, Hino Garcia Jr., Bartolo Guajardo Jr., and Lino Requeñas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chief, you want to add on Lino Requeñas, is that senior? That's his number, senior.
Yeah, senior, yes.
You might want to add that into that, because there's the son.
Yeah.
Okay, Lino Requeñas Sr.
The chief and I spoke before the meeting. Some of these will be for a 2-year term and some will be for a 1-year term. Is that correct?
That is correct, and
We just have to designate.
correct.
Is it going to be 2 or 3 that have the 2-year term?
2 of them need to have a 1-year term, the other 3 have a 2-year term.
You want to specify which
Okay, you
ones?
specify.
If you want our recommendation, we would recommend Bartolo Guajardo and Lino Requeñas Senior to be the 1 year.
Okay. Make a motion to approve item as presented, Judge, with
I'll
the
second the motion.
adjustments.
And I know this one kind of got away from us, but if you could just remind us when the terms come up for expiration, so that we won't, that they don't lapse.
We will, we're very focused on this right now. We're trying to get this a little bit better organized, so that's the purpose of us being here today.
Okay, so I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Apologize that it took so long. And I'm also, yes, sir, thank you all very much. We appreciate what y'all do for us. Thank you. Keep up the good work. And we have our friends from Linebarger here for agenda item number 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to agenda item number 10. Discuss and consider and take action to offer to purchase sales tax property suit number 21-05-61117-CV Resolution Finance LLC versus Bill Martinez, account number 1239508400300. All that certain tract or parcel of land containing 0.36 acres out of Lot 13, Block 7 of Remit addition of the City of Orange Grove, Jim Wells County, Texas, and being more particularly described with mints and bounds in the certain deed with vendors lien from mid-state to Bill Martinez and Rosalie C. Martinez dated 11/14/1996, recorded at document number 305277 of the deeds record of Jim Wells County, Texas, and also being known as Lot 13-C, Block 7, Raymond Addition.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Board. Thomas Tony Limon here with Linebarger. I came here today, we came here today to present a resale bid offer. We did this because there is a taxing lender who foreclosed on a property, and that property had delinquent taxes owed to you and other taxing entities. That taxing lender does not have the experience, is not in the business of presenting these bid offers. We thought we would jump in and offer to present these offers to all three entities on their behalf. We thought it would be easier for y'all, easier for them. We foresaw some hiccups had they tried to do it themselves. And unfortunately, lo and behold, this morning we got a message from them, which did change the numbers slightly. We need to get those numbers accurate. We apologize. We're hoping that we can reset this for next month and get this back on the agenda, if that's okay with you.
No problem. So we're requesting the item be tabled. I don't have a problem. I'll make a motion that we table
Second.
item number 10 until further notice. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
sir. Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate y'all very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Robert.
Thank you all. Okay, now we'll go back to agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and take actions to approve minutes from previous meetings.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
And these are meetings from April 8th, 2024, and April 10th, 2024. I have a motion, I have a second to approve. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 9. This is a consent agenda. Items will be voted upon in one vote and will not be discussed separately unless requested by the county judge, a commissioner, or a citizen.
Motion to approve.
A second.
I have a motion, I have a second to approve agenda item number 9 as stated. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 11, discuss, consider, and take action to authorize District Clerk David Guerrero to post a request for proposal for scanning and imaging services for digital computation, indexing, and preservation of court documents, all costs to be paid for with ARPA funds. So this is the big project that Mr. Guerrero has for the District Clerk's office for imaging and scanning. And if there's no questions, I'll make a motion that we approve. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 11. Taking care of 12 and 13. And number 14. Let's see, okay. Agenda item number 14, discuss, consider, and take action to donate 8 used Dell Optiplex 7040 computers, serial number 6WS 67J2, 6WV8 7J2, 7NJ9 7J2, 6W747J2, 6WD9 7J2, 6WW77J2, and 6WB27J2, and 6WG27J2, all to the Alice Boys and Girls Club.
I make a motion to donate the 8.
I second.
Were you gonna say something, Robert?
I'm just gonna let you know, make sure, to let you know, we donated this computer to the Boys School Club. They can use it for the learning centers. Something like that.
For the record, that's Robert Silva, IT, Jim Wells County. I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 15. Discuss and consider and take action to approve the terms and conditions of a 25-year lease jointly with the city of Alice with Spencer H. Callahan for Site 9 at the International Airport. I think we've had discussions about this in meetings, Mr. Guerra, with the city of Alice, and
I spoke to Mr. Lemon, I tried reaching out to him this morning to see if they've already voted on it. They were supposed to, taking it up at the city
okay, so we have the signed agreement on April 16th by Michael Esparza, city manager. So I am thinking, and Mr. Spencer,
I hadn't seen that yet since then.
it's done.
This is a different version that I got the plan from the beginning. So they've already approved it. Now, it's just on us. And the terms are there, the lease price. There's a provision for rental adjustment every 5th year. And, I know we've had these in the past, and I don't think they've ever proposed the raise. It's just there in case, you know, things get, our expense, not our expenses, but the airport's expenses get so big that they need a little more revenue from the tenants.
Okay, that being said, there's no other issue. Can I entertain a motion?
Second the motion.
Okay, so I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion's granted, and all we need is JC's signature. So I'll leave it out right here. Just take care of that and get it back to the city as quick as we can. Excuse me. Agenda item number 16, discuss, consider, and take action on adopting a resolution to enter into an agreement with the state of Texas, acting through the State Department of Transportation for an advanced funding agreement, AFA, for Phase 1 of the Bembo 2023 Highway 281 Pedestrian Connectivity and Accessibility Project number 0916-37-039.
Yes. Good morning.
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 My name is Haley Morrow. I'm with Santos McBain. We assisted the county and Commissioner Gonzalez with the TxDOT TAP and Transportation Alternatives Grant application. This is the next step in this process. TxDOT has provided the county with a draft advanced funding agreement. And they stated that the county needed to adopt a resolution. The resolution outlines that the county is in agreement with the advanced funding agreement. And as soon as the resolution is adopted and executed, TxDOT will be sending the final AFA. And what we'll do on our side is we'll review it and ensure they include the correct grant amount. They show that there's no match and that they outline the scope of work. And just as a reminder, this grant is a little over it's actually closer to $1.4 million. And it was one of 4 projects that were approved for the Corpus Christi district. And it's for 2,912 linear feet of 6-foot wide ADA compliant reinforced concrete sidewalk, 8 ADA curb ramps, safety lighting, along with pedestrian crossing and signage. The route begins on Badger Lane, continues to First Street, connects to Whitney Avenue and Third Street. And once we get this resolution sent over to TxDOT, we'll coordinate with Commissioner Gonzalez related to any deficiencies we may see in the advanced funding agreement. And TxDOT usually, they make those changes right away and get it sent back over. Are there any questions or comments?
Oh, thank y'all very much. Send our regards to Mr. De Los Santos. We appreciate what y'all are doing. It's a very much needed project in Bambolt. And
Motion to approve, Judge.
I have a motion, and I'll second that. I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and we'll get that resolution. I'm sure we'll get it sent to us, and we'll get it to you. Thank you so much. Item number 17, discuss, consider, and take action on approving a request for qualifications for engineering for the hog barn at the Jim Wells County Fairgrounds. This is an extension of a project that we began last year. We were able to complete last year new bleachers, concrete show arena on the north end, concrete drain box, and the show arena north wall. All of that has been completed. This is an extension of it. I spoke to an engineer, and the cost for the services may be over $10,000. So to rectify any issues in our procurement, we're going out for the RFQ. Once we get the RFQ, we'll go out for, we'll get the scope of work so we can go out for the RFP for the construction part. That being said, I make a motion that we approve agenda item number 17.
Second it.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I do want to add that the Fair Association is very, very happy with all of us here in the Commissioners Court for the first project we've done and for the project we're fixing to do with the hog barn. And for the record, I want the Commissioners Court to know that we're also in talks with some emergency management officials, departments above us to possibly utilize our fairgrounds as staging areas. The reason why we do need this engineering and engineering services, and I appreciate the yay on it, is because we want to make sure that it's compacted enough and strengthened enough to hold some of the higher level equipment that we may store there when we're not having the fair.
Judge, I got a question, Judge. It was asked to me that why we need an engineer, and I said, well, you're gonna invest that much money on something, you need to do it right. But being that it's a hog barn, once you have sand or say, what's it called? Shavings, once the urine gets penetrated into the concrete, would that be able to be cleared or cleaned or?
Well, we'll make sure that with the engineering firm that's selected, that we cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm pretty sure another reason for the engineer is the slope of the.
No, I'm not questioning the engineer. My question was, like I say, I know you're gonna invest that kind of money, you want to do things right, and of course you want to use an engineer. But my question is, the smell of urine, some people question whether you can clean it or not. Is it gonna be?
So I think Lance Brown, Emergency Management, Jim County, just talking on behalf of this, I think once the fair's done, we're gonna go out there and we'll sweep all the shavings off, logistically wise, and then get in there and go pressure wash the top of it, and there'll be zero ammonia smell lingering. Now, if you let it sit, for months and months and months, yes, but I think that being that we're spending this much money to have a very nice facility that can be utilized more with our bigger brothers further down the road, logistic wise, once the show is over with, we'll move everything out, clean out the shavings, go in there and just spend an hour or two and pressure wash it, and we'll be ready for next year.
And that was brought up when the panels were purchased, that those panels were supposed to be removed and sand was supposed to be removed from that building, so that way, in case we needed to use it for emergency purposes or anything.
That's a good point, Commissioner.
So we need to make sure that it's followed through.
Yeah, and that's a good point, and if we need to do something during the fair that could help with that, rectify any problems that could happen, we can notify the fair association. That way we'll all be on the same page.
Just to make sure that it's clean, because I'd hate for people to be in there and it smells real bad.
Yes, good point, good point. Agenda item number 18, discuss, consider, and take action on approving resolution authorizing county judge to participate in the Historical Commission, Texas Historical Courthouse Preservation, THCCPP, emergency grant funding to remedy critical needs of the Jim Wells County Courthouse. This is just a step in being able to apply for the grant. Right now, we had a meeting Wednesday. Phoenix One came and did their initial assessment. They're working on the cost estimates. Our grant writers are working diligently on the application. So this is one part of the application that needs to be approved by Commissioners Court. I'll make a motion to approve. Okay, we can go ahead and take his motion, her second. I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez, for helping us while we were out of town. You and Mr. Rubin, we appreciate you helping taking architects around.
Anytime.
Agenda item number 19. Discuss, consider, and take action on request from Commissioner Margie Gonzalez, Precinct 1, to approve the terms of and enter into a finance purchase agreement with Government Capital for a 2024, excuse me, Mack Granite dump truck unit number 135754.
So this has always been a lease. I know Cindy has spoken with them, that we usually lease it for a year and then they come in and replace it. And I've never seen it as a purchase, but it's always been a lease.
Well, first of all, we did a district finance. And the backup or the documentation was for like a one-time payment for the following year. So.
So I had told them to put it on a monthly
But they didn't
lease.
put, like, what they submitted is just it's not a lease, it's a purchase agreement. So if your intent was it for it to be something different, then you would have to contact them, because they just provided a purchase agreement to purchase a piece of equipment. So I don't know if that was their understanding with the finance company, so.
it's something
I
different.
will table the item because that wasn't the intent.
That
It was
wasn't
to
it.
lease.
So just get with either whichever finance company you're gonna wanna use and let them know what you're wanting, because both documentations from both finance companies are to purchase the agreement. So if you wanted something else, just get with them and then have them send it and then we'll review it.
And I know that you had asked some questions, so I understood that you were gonna get with them to make sure that it was
They
correct.
provided, but they provided a purchase agreement. So that's normally what we do it.
Cindy, is mine under purchase?
No, your dump truck and Commissioner 4, y'all are under the buyback program. So y'all have like a different agreement. What they provided, this backup is for a purchase agreement.
And why was it different? And with Karen?
Unless they understood something differently whenever you spoke with them, I don't know.
When we approved it in Commissioners Court, what was it approved at?
A lease.
Well, it says lease agreement, it says lease purchase, but it's for a one-time payment of the following
In
year.
Commissioners Court? On the agenda, well, that's what we approved? So
So that's not- I mean, we don't-
if we're gonna change that, we're gonna have to bring that agenda item back, rescind it, and then make it a lease agreement.
right.
We
So-
probably need to get on the horn with the bank like ASAP,
Yeah.
because it's been a little bit.
Yeah, we need to get that squared away, so.
So if I decided I wanted another, I could just do a lease? Like what you're talking about, or
You have one currently under a.
one?
Yeah, so you're under the buyback program.
I can't get another one.
Yes,
Take a look at your finances.
I have two.
Oh, you have two?
Yeah, we pay but around $20,000 a year. That's including the interest rate and everything. So we lease both two.
And that's
Yeah,
what-
you can't go wrong with that program. You don't want to purchase the vehicle.
Exactly.
You want to be able to lease it, because all they do is they,
Okay, I need to look, because I need another one.
all they do is at the end of the year, like here in September, they'll call us and say, have the truck ready, we're gonna go deliver. Deliver a truck, they take the old one, bring us a new one.
And was your bank person, or
Solis.
Mac, was it, Rankin or Rhett?
Rhett.
Solis.
Rhett?
Right, yeah. That's who we speak with.
Well, that's who I was speaking.
All right, so we have a plan of action to resolve this
So I
issue?
tabled the item.
Okay. I have a motion to table. I get a second?
Well,
Go ahead.
it's with to come back and bring it back with a lease program, it's, there's no way you can compare us paying $80,000, I pay $80,000 in 4 years versus $190,000 in purchasing it, sir?
That's fine.
Okay, so it's 160, so, you want to lease them, you don't want to purchase them,
Right, and that was the intent.
so that,
Yeah,
with the
maybe there
intention of
was a-
leasing it.
Yeah, misunderstanding between you and the first finance company, because that's not the documentation they provided.
Okay, so I have a motion to table, but we have a plan of action that we're gonna contact the bank ASAP and try to rectify the situation with the bank, see if we can make the adjustment to another type of contract. So that being said, I have a motion to table. Can I entertain a second?
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 20, discuss, consider, and take action upon payroll and bills as submitted by county auditor with the exemption of Fund 52, 53, and 54.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 21, discuss, consider, and take action to approve county treasurer's report and other monthly reports.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Is anybody gonna read anything?
there any questions on the report? Any further? Hearing none. Can I entertain the motion? Or I already have a motion. Do I have a second also?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 22, discuss, consider, and take action to approve auditors' monthly reports.
Okay, Judge, first, I don't know about this, we can do go over the sales tax report. So budgeted was about 3.6 million, total we've collected 814,818, which is 22.48% collections through March. A little under, so concern that with the sales tax, it's trending a little less than what we projected. And that's kind of going through all the entities, which is, we see that trend with not only the county, but with the city of Alice, the city of Fremont. Orange Grove was on par for this month, but year to date, they are trending a little less than last year. So that's just kind of an overall trend that we are seeing on the sales tax collections to date. So definitely something we want to keep an eye on that part of it. I know the judge is always on top of that too. But back to just the auditor's report as far as the county is concerned, again, that projection that we'll see on the revenue side, as a whole, we are at 68% collection between general fund, road and bridge, and all the other funds. Of course, it's always high at the beginning of the year because we collect all of the bulk of our ad valorem tax the first quarter of the year. So that's obviously higher than the 26%. So that's pretty average. And then you're gonna see all the expenditures throughout all the departments. Expenditure to be on budget should be 26%. There are a couple, of course, that are over. We've pretty much addressed anybody that's over with the official and know why, whether it be a big payment early in the quarter or something like that will affect the percentage. So overall, in expenditures, we're at 25% throughout all the funds, leaving us with a 1% variance. I know we're not used to that number. It's a little, but again, that directly reflects the decrease in sales tax.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, like you mentioned, I keep a very close eye. I got my spreadsheets on sales tax. And what we projected in our budget for this year is 2,900,000. And what that means is we have a monthly average of $241,671.75. We haven't gone below that monthly average, but it doesn't look good. I know Commissioner Garcia and I spoke about it a while back, and the sales tax is beginning to stabilize. And we have to keep a close eye on it, because as long as it's stabilized, we're still gonna be within our budgeted allowances, but we're used to having more, and we're used to using that revenue to eat up some other expense. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on it, and just to notify everybody that we're keeping a close eye on it. There's no drastic thing that we have to do now or hopefully in the months to come. But if it gets any worse, and it goes below, then we gotta start really looking at our expenditures. And usually we're April, this is for April, right, March? Usually we don't get, a negative variance, so, we're usually at 1% by this time, not negative, right? We're usually at the positive one, not negative?
I mean, we're still, our revenues are still more than our expenditures, so we're okay. And it's pretty normal. We normally like at a 2.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve agenda item number 22.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion carries.
Second.
And I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.